Hello again, it's me, Michonne. And the topic for today is sarcasm, orgasm, and profanity. Oh my. Yeah, I'm good. Anyway, so I would like to talk about the way my books are written. Because if you haven't noticed, I'm sort of addicted to doing that. Um, my writing style is very different. You probably won't read much literature quite like it. First of all, there are the endless conversations. So if you ever find yourself reading, flipping, or swiping through the pages and start wondering why everyone seems to talk so much, well, there are a few explanations for that. Each perspective is written in an effort to accurately reflect the character's state of mind. So, for instance, with Jean Claude's point of view, you'll find those big, flowery descriptions that you're so used to finding in most books. Whereas Mark Blue, he just tends to cuss a lot. His writing is pretty rough until he. Shit. I can't reveal that yet. Suffice it to say, his writing style does change later on, and for a very good reason. And Mark Ashton thinks a lot, more than anyone would think, but his way of speaking is also fairly rough. Most of his stuff is angsty, angry, or just plain murderous. And, so it goes with each character. Then there's the fact that I myself am sarcastic, blunt, and to the point. There's also that ever-present playfulness in me, if you haven't noticed. I poke fun at traditional romance, literature, and media in general. I know books are normally supposed to describe every little thing, but that actually gets on my nerves. I have quite the imagination already, and it doesn't take much for me to envision or engulf myself in new worlds or people. That's probably because I'm, left-handed. Go figure. Anyway, so maybe this means that I have a hard time explaining the craziness or the intricacies of a leaf or a sidewalk, but hey, I'm not perfect. I would much rather focus on the thoughts, the interactions, and funny philosophical puzzles going on. I guess you could say I pull a Plato quite often, and you can thank my philosophical studies for that. So, what about all the sex? It's a natural part of life. I also studied gender and sexuality as well, and I'm just fascinated by it. I can never quite understand why it bothers and embarrasses people so much. I mean, I understand intellectually, but it never goes deeper. It's a beautiful, ugly, simple, complicated thing, and exploring it in my stories helped me come to terms with my own sexuality and history. Speaking of which, I love studying history too. It's pretty safe to say I love studying anything. And watching how humanity has dealt with issues surrounding sex is downright mind boggling. So breaking it down, deconstructing it, and reassembling it is part of the fun. Whether people like it, love it, hate it, doesn't matter. I write about them all because we are all so freaky in our own ways. And at the mention of being freaky, what about that last thing? What is it about cussing that just feels so fucking good and right? What is it about profanity that helps with pain? Are people who cuss some of the time more honest? Fuck if I know. Words are power, and words are also just words. There are words a lot of folks think no one should ever use. But one of the things that I took from feminism, from gay rights, and the Black Power movement is the power in reclaiming words. There may be a lot of people out there that will find my language use offensive, and I don't really care. I didn't write these stories for them. And as someone who spends a hell of a lot of time writhing in pain for no goddamn reason, I think I can cuss as much as I like. It's actually saved me a few times when it gets really bad. Anyway, the people in my stories use language the way that it was intended to express themselves. They all have different ways of doing it. Sometimes they address each other by seemingly offensive terms as endearment, and other times they use the sweetest words, so damn evilly. Um, there are also words that they regard as curses that they can actually be arrested and put into the fire pits for uttering. That wonderful sarcasm again. But at bottom, it's always about intent, communication, and effect. Some people can say anything and make it sound utterly disgusting, while others can say the ugliest things and have it sound like the sweetest music. Sometimes it's just incredibly funny. So yeah, I may be a little nuts. I may piss off some people for not coloring inside the line. I don't mind. My stories are what led to my freedom. They're not written to shock or offend. They were and are written to heal, to play, to share, and to be fucking human. So if you like humans, take a peek. As always, if you want to support me in other ways, you can feel free to visit my Patreon, or just buy some of the books. Okay. Alright, well, I'll see you next time.